Good day, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Mental Health During the Holidays, some practical tips to prioritize well-being. This holiday season is a time of joy and celebration, but can also bring its own set of stressors, whether it's the busy schedules, financial pressures, or balancing personal and social commitments. This webinar is brought to you by Generali Philippines to support your mental well-being during this festive but often overwhelming time. Today, we'll explore practical strategies for recognizing holidays-related stress, maintaining mental health, and fostering meaningful connections. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Rainier Ladik, a registered psychologist with a master's in clinical psychology from Far Eastern University, with extensive experience in psychotherapy, psychological test administration, and mental health program development. Rainier has worked in various industries, including media, education, and clinical settings. He is the founder of The One Psychologist, a platform dedicated to promoting mental health awareness, and has been a resource speaker for numerous organizations. Let's all welcome Rainier as he shares insights and tools to help us navigate the holidays mindfully.
So yan, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. But before anything, let me just share with you yung PowerPoint ko so that makasunod kaya tayo ng mabuti sa ating discussion this afternoon. Ayan. Anyway, again, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Rainier Ladik, isang registered psychologist, professor sa National University Clark, Pampanga, at ang founder ng Facebook page na The One Psychologist. So sabi nga po nila na it's the most wonderful time of the year. Pero hindi natin maikakaila din that it's also one of the most stressful times of the year. So yung parang pressure sa preparations, mula sa pagpili ng mga regalo, pagde-decorate, paghahanda ng pagkain, paghahanda para sa mga bisita, pag-iisip ng kung ano yung ibibigay sa mga inaanak at iba pa. So itong mga nararanasan natin during the holidays, hindi lamang siya physically straining, pero it is also mentally, emotionally, and also financially stressful. So paano nga ba natin may enjoy yung spirit of the holidays while managing yung ating holiday stressors? Kaya naman sa hapong ito, ating pag-uusapan ang ilang mahalagang paksa or topics patungkol sa mental health during the holidays. Ayan. So, first up, let's take a look at the objectives ng pag-uusapan natin sa hapong ito. So first is to gain deeper insights about terms related with mental health. Then pangalawa is to be able to understand the importance of having your mental health in check during the holidays. Napaka-importante po yan. Kasi I know na lahat tayo is, of course, parang expected na nagsasaya tayo. Pero of course, hindi lahat ng mga tao is similar yung experiences natin. Even during the holidays, of course, may mga tao talaga na they're also experiencing some sort of distress. Then pangatlo is to teach practical strategies on how to manage our mental health upon experiencing distress during the holiday season. Ayan, mahalaga muna po na ma-define po muna natin ano nga ba po yung term ng mental health. Now, according to the World Health Organization 2022, ang mental health daw po is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to their community. So ano pa ba yung kailangan nating malaman about mental health? Napakahalaga po ng mental health for our individual and collective abilities to make decisions. Yeah, so kung tayo ay nakakagawa tayo ng mga magaganda at mga tamang desisyon that benefits the self and other people, then that determines a good level of our mental health. Then hindi lang yan po, it also determines yung ating ability to develop or build relationships with one another. So kung meron naman tayong magandang pakikipagkapwa-tao, meron tayong mga trusted friends, like we can build connections with others, so that also determines a good level of our mental health. Then of course, our mental health, it shapes the world that we live in. Sinasabi nga din po nila that mental health is of course a basic human right. So napaka-crucial niya po para sa ating personal, community, and socio-economic development. At ang mental health din po is more than just the absence of mental health disorders. Meaning to say, na hindi porket okay yung mental health state natin or wala tayong psychological disorders, meaning to say na wala na tayong mental health or hindi natin kailangan ng mental health. No. Because we cannot separate yung mental health natin with our general health. Hindi din siya secondary to our physical health. Laging magkakonekta ang ating physical health and our mental health. Kaya napakahalagang aspeto din po ito no, ng ating kalusugan. Sinasabi din daw po na ang mental health is a continuum. Therefore, it is experienced differently by different people with varying degrees of distress and difficulty. So kung ano man yung kinaka-stress natin, marahil sa ibang tao is iba yung kanilang kinaka-stress. At iba-iba din yung ating stress reaction for a similar stressor. Okay? So that is the basic definition po of mental health. Then, of course, much more than this, kailangan din po nating alamin yung karapatan natin, no, which is what we call as the Mental Health Act or the RA 11036. So ano po ba na itong Mental Health Act na ito? So the state affirms the basic right of all Filipinos to mental health as well as the fundamental rights of people who require mental health services. So madami pong mga nakapaloob na konsepto dito, pero let me tell you just some of the most important na contents of this Mental Health Act. Siguro unang-una po is to make available yung mga information about mental health that are correct and factual. Then of course to develop leaders who have mental health awareness. Napakahalaga po kasi na yung mga leaders natin is may awareness po sila about the importance of mental health. Kasi magbibigay daan po yan for the next pointer, which is yung to have mental health programs sa bawat institution. Kung saan man tayo nag-aaral, nagtatrabaho, kasi nga for the longest period of time, we have always focused on the physical health. So this time is of course, hindi natin maikakaila na ang mental health natin kapag nagkaroon tayo ng certain distress, naapektuhan din no, yung ating day-to-day life functioning. Then higit sa lahat, ang isa sa mga goals ng Mental Health Act is para maprotektahan yung karapatan ng mga tao na merong psychological disorders or mental health conditions. Kasi kahit na laganap na po no, yung kaalaman natin patungkol sa kalusugang pag-iisip, is persistent pa rin po no, yung stigma about mental health. Nakakalungkot nga po no, na isipin na meron pa rin pong mga tao na hindi naniniwala sa mental health disorders or problems. Sinasabi lang nila na nasa isip lang yan. Well, of course, no, ang mental health conditions, nasa isip po talaga natin yan. Pero hindi porket na hindi po natin siya nakikita sa isang tao, just as obvious sa mga taong may physical conditions, is ibig sabihin is wala na talaga. Kasi there's something going on no, inside of the brain no, or the mind of people with mental health conditions. Kaya mahalaga po no, na mapag-usapan natin all about mental health, specifically focusing on yung stress na nararamdaman natin at yung probable na depression na maaari nating maramdaman during the holiday season. Ayan. So, let's talk about holiday stress and depression. So, himayin natin ng mabuti no, kung ano nga ba itong holiday stress at ano nga ba yung depression. Kasi these are two different na mga concepts. Unahin muna natin si holiday stress or siguro stress in general muna yung pag-uusapan natin. So yan, stress daw is a feeling of emotional or physical tension. It can come from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. So stress is your body's reaction to a challenge or demand. So to make it short, ang stress is our body's response to threat. Again, stress is our body's response to threat. So ano ba yung threat na sinasabi dito? Anything that could make you feel a certain level of distress, that can be considered as a threat. Like for example, kayo ay may hinahabol no, na deadline before kayo mag-holiday vacation. Yan, siyempre, di ba, mga karag kayo at nakaka-stress no, yung paghahabol ng mga deadlines. So therefore, in this situation, yung deadlines niyo are your psychological stressors. Ganun din no, sa mga estudyante kapag may mga announcement about quizzes or recitation. So therefore, yung recitations, saka yung mga exams or quizzes na yan, they are the threat no na sinasabi dito na nagbibigay sa atin ng certain stress response. Now, I'm very sure naman po na lahat tayo nakaka-experience tayo ng stress. And no matter how much negative yung term na stress, it's not actually all bad. Stress can actually be beneficial if we know how to use it to our advantage. Now, what do I mean by this? Kaya nga po meron tayong dalawang uri ng stress. First is what we call as the eustress. When we say eustress, in layman's term, ito yung good stress. Because eustress is mild to moderate na psychological stress na nararamdaman natin that can be viewed as beneficial to us. Now, bakit siya beneficial to us? Kasi I do believe na if without stressful experiences, hindi rin tayo magkakaroon ng mga coping strategies na tinatawag natin. And these coping strategies, ito yung isa sa mga nakakapagpatatag ng ating pagkatao. Like for example, go back to a moment kung saan naka-experience ka ng problema. Tapos nakaisip ka ng pamamaraan how to overcome that. Now, yung pamamaraan na na-build mo to overcome that problem, that is a coping strategy. Kumbaga, parang nai-install yan no, sa ating pagkatao. So, ano bang purpose niyan? So that next time na kumaharap ulit tayo ng similar no, na stressor, mariretrieve natin agad no, yung coping strategy na yan para at least mas madali nating malampasan yung problema na ating kinakaharap. And kung may bago tayong problema na kakaharapin at kapag tayo ay nakabuo ulit ng bagong coping strategy, then therefore mas tumatatag yung ating pagkatao. So in that sense, beneficial din yung stressors para sa atin para mas lumakas pa no, yung ating pagkatao para tumibay tayo bilang isang tao. Now, kailan ba nakakasama ang stress? Of course, kapag naging distress na siya. What do we mean by distress? Dito sa distress, kung sa eustress, acute lang siya. Meaning to say, siguro ngayon nararamdaman mo siya, pero now that you have overcome it, hindi mo na siya nararamdaman kinabukasan. Pero ang distress is something na chronic. Like for example, kapag ikaw ay nakakaramdam no, ng problema, or ng certain negative emotion tapos lagi mong siniset aside. Well, okay lang naman no, na from time to time siniset aside natin yan. Pero kapag hindi natin siya dinidil, lagi tayong nag-escape, lagi natin siyang siniset aside, hindi natin namamalayan na nag-iipon-ipon na yung mga stressors natin, mas lalong nag-heighten yung negative emotions natin until such a time na maaapektuhan na niya yung ating physical and psychological health. Kung saan may mga tao nga no, na kapag sila ay nakakaramdam ng distress, is talagang umaabot sila sa punto na nagiging dysfunctional na sila. So meaning to say, hindi na sila nakakapag-concentrate na maayos, hindi na sila nakakapasok ng eskwela, yung iba is hindi na nakakapag-deliver ng mga deadlines. Ultimong siguro no, for people who are really experiencing intense type of distress, ultimong pagbangon sa kama is hindi na nila magawa kasi nga sobrang negative na yung kanilang nararamdaman. So, let's not wait no na mapunta pa dyan sa ganyang sitwasyon no, yung ating physical and ating mental health before we do something no for our general health. Now, let's now define ano naman yung holiday stress. And when we say holiday stress, it refers to a unique type of stress that arises in response to the demands and expectations of the holiday season. Yan. Kasi di ba mostly dito sa Pilipinas, ang dami nating mga tradisyon na sinusunod. So holiday stress, actually it can range no, in severity at kung ano yung type na meron. Whether ito yung anxiety, like for example, na atasan kang mag-host ng party, or mag-organize ng party, then hindi din natin dyan matitake away no, yung concerns about finances. Then yung ibang mga tao, nagkakaroon sila ng heightened no, na symptom of existing mental health issues. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan, no, na yung mga tao na meron silang mental health conditions, sometimes nag-worsen yung kanilang symptoms during the holiday season, specifically yung Christmas Day, saka yung New Year's Day. Yan, mamaya no, we will further dig deeper no, onto this. Then to add with all of this, syempre nandyan din yung pressure to meet yung seasonal expectations that can eventually increase yung feelings of being overwhelmed, frustration, and fatigue. Ayan. So, katulad nga po ng sinabi ko kanina, of course, no, the holiday season, the Christmas season is the most wonderful time of the year, pero madami din pong nasistress during these types of holidays. Kaya mahalaga po na malaman natin how to manage yung stress na nararamdaman natin for these kinds of seasons so that, may enjoy din natin siya. Kumbaga, magiging connected din tayo with other people, then at the same time is may enjoy din natin siya. Okay? At hindi magiging negative yung experience natin celebrating holidays. Ayan. So, after nating malaman kung ano nga ba yung definition ng holiday stress, let us now recognize yung ilang mga signs. So, may nakalagay dito, note that these signs may vary in terms of symptoms and intensity. Kasi katulad din ng sinabi ko kanina, iba-iba tayo ng stress response. So therefore, even sa signs ng holiday stress, iba-iba din tayo dyan. Pero basically, ito yung mga general na symptoms na pwede nating pa-observe sa ibang mga tao or even to ourselves. So first is we have here increased irritability or mood changes. Ayan. So parang kung napapansin mo, mabilis kang mairita. Kasi nga, di ba, parang normal yan, lalo na kapag sobrang pagod mo, dami mong iniisip, tapos ang dami pang nangungulit sa iyong mga tao. So talaga makakaranas ka ng increased irritability or mood changes. Then at the same time is nagkakaroon tayo ng physical and mental exhaustion. Ayan. Mas nakaka-stress, lalo na kapag for instance is namimili ka. Siyempre, hindi lang nakakapagod yung physical na paglalakad mo sa loob ng mall or the market, pero nakakapagod din yung travel time. Minsan kahit na meron kang sarili mong kotse dahil doon sa holiday traffic na sinasabi natin na talagang nagiging congested yung mga roads, so hindi lang physical yung napapagod sa'yo, pati yung kaisipan mo kasi nga doon sa mga moments kung saan nasa-stuck ka sa traffic, you could have done a lot of things already, pero hindi mo siya magawa kasi nga wala kang magagawa about the traffic. Then of course, there's difficulty concentrating. Ayan, kapag bumababa yung ating sense of concentration, of course, bababa din yung ating efficiency sa paggawa ng ating mga trabaho or yung mga dapat nating gawin sa ating pang-araw-araw. Then notice also, baka nagkakaroon tayo bigla ng mga body pains sa iba't ibang parte ng ating katawan. Siguro ang pinaka-common dyan is yung sumasakit yung ulo natin kasi ang dami nating ginagawa, dami nating iniisip, may mga winu-worry tayo. So talagang overwhelming yung stress na nararamdaman natin that at times lumalabas siya through physical pains. Then of course, kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng sleep problems, saka appetite changes. So, observe nyo lang yung sarili ninyo, but then I do hope na for this upcoming holiday season is makombat na natin yung or ma-manage natin ng mabuti yung stressors na maaari nating maranasan. Kasi of course, meron naman tayong proactive saka reactive measures. What do I mean by this? Proactive is wala pa man yung problema, may gagawin ka na para maiwasan mo or hindi mangyari yung problema. Then there's the reactive wherein nandyan na yung problema, ngayon anong gagawin mo about it? Okay? So doon tayo sa proactive so that mas malesen yung ating holiday stress probably na maaari nating maranasan. Kasi of course, hindi natin 100% na may iwasan ng stress. Kasi normal din yan at helpful din yan para sa atin. And most especially, hindi naman natin control ang lahat ng mga maaaring mangyari sa ating buhay. So expect na rin natin na siguro makakaranas tayo ng stress, pero ang importante dito is we should always have this sense of control na kakayanin natin siyang ma-overcome. Okay? Ayan. So, let's now talk about depression. Ayan. Kasi madaming mga tao ang hindi pa rin nakakaintindi or hindi pa rin alam kung ano nga ba talaga yung term na depression. Now, siguro mahalaga na i-distinguish muna natin siya sa sadness. Sinasabi ng ibang mga tao na ang depression daw is being very sad or profound sadness. Pero hindi. Hindi siya being very sad or it's not even profound sadness. Yan. Kasi diba when we say sadness, ano siya? Transient feeling siya. When we say transient feeling, madali siyang lumipas. Like for example, kapag ikaw ay malungkot, yan, kainin mo lang siguro na yung favorite food mo, magbe-better na yung mood mo. Or talk to your favorite person, nare-relieve na yung pakiramdam mo. Or do your favorite hobby, mas nagiging energized ka na. So ganyan yung sadness, transient. Lumilipas siya, may gawin ka lang, ma-overcome mo siya ng madali or probably with certain levels of challenge. Pero ang depression, a more accurate definition of it is absence of happiness. Yan, absence of happiness. Ibig sabihin yan, kahit nakainin mo pa yung favorite food mo, you talk with your favorite person, you do your favorite hobbies, it will not make any difference in your mood. Okay? Hindi lang siya nasa isip. Ang depression is hindi lang din pag-iinarte. Depression is a type of mental health condition. Yan, health ano siya, health concern siya. Kaya nga yung ibang mga tao na meron or nadadiagnose sila with major depressive disorder, they would have to take medication. Kasi nga, hindi siya yung parang psychological causes lang. May nangyayari sa loob ng utak natin that needs to be balanced out by taking certain medications. Kaya nga ang psychological conditions or mental health conditions, natitrace din siya biologically. Pero yun nga, internal siya within our mind. Hindi siya katulad ng physical illness na kapag napansin mo isang tao, alam mo na kagad na meron siyang sakit. Yung mga mental health conditions kasi hindi mo yan madaling matitrace based on the expression of a certain individual. Akala mo pangiti-ngiti lang yan, pero deep within is parang the person is already dying because of experiencing so much distress. Okay? Let's recognize the other symptoms of depression. Yan, of course, depressed mood for most of the day, anhedonia, loss of pleasure. When we say loss of pleasure, yung parang kahit nagawin mo pa yung mga bagay na gusto mong ginagawa dati, it does not bring pleasure to you any longer. Lethargy, ayan, yung parang pakiramdam mo, ang bagal ng kilos mo, parang ang bigat ng pakiramdam mo. Then fatigue. Then there's feelings of worthlessness, helplessness, and hopelessness. Dysfunction with daily life experiences, and of course, madalas sa mga tao na may clinical depression is they have suicidal ideations. Okay? Ayan, so we have to recognize these symptoms. And if any of you are parang iniisip nyo na meron kayong ganitong uri ng mga symptoms, do not hesitate to reach out. Mostly sa mga professionals, yan, sa mga mental health professionals such as sa mga psychiatrists, sa mga psychologists. If you're a student at meron kayong guidance counselors, so lumapit kayo sa kanila para at least they will be able to give you the proper and the most empirically supported and scientific na recommendations to help you out with what you're going through. Okay? Now, nabanggit ko kanina na may mga tao na nag-i-intensify yung kanilang feelings of distress, lalo na kapag meron silang existing na mental health condition. Meron tayong tinatawag na seasonal pattern of depression. Ayan, ano ba tong seasonal pattern of depression? So coming from the name itself, ibig sabihin yan, umaatake yung episode ng kanilang depression within a certain season. And sabi dito, depressive symptoms occurring on a specific season. When we say season dito, literal siya na panahon. Like for example, sa US at sa ibang mga bansa na may 4 seasons, madalas daw na nakakaroon sila ng seasonal pattern of depression kapag mag-autumn going to winter. Then sa mga tropical countries naman, is madalas sa mga rainy seasons yan. Now, sabi dito, para at least malaman natin yung ilang mga signs and symptoms of this seasonal pattern of depression, and the person has had two depressive episodes the past 2 years on a specific season. Ibig sabihin yan, yung mga tao na may seasonal pattern of depression, meron na talaga silang major depressive disorder. Then has had more seasonal pattern of depression than non-seasonal pattern. Ibig sabihin yung episodes of depression nila is, like, let's say, mas marami siya during the winter season or mas marami siya during the rainy season as compared sa mga non-seasonal na mga patterns. Then eventually yung kanilang symptoms gets better as the season changes. Now, if you're asking me, bakit ba to nangyayari? Well, there could be several reasons for this. So unang-una is probably during those seasons, if meron silang negative life events. Like for an instance, if it is winter, so usually, di ba, kapag winter, yan of course, parang related sa Christmas season. Lalo na kapag Christmas season at ikaw ay nawalan ng mahal sa buhay, probably that could be one of the causes of it. Or naka-experience ka ng traumatic event during those types of seasons. Maaaring isa din yan sa maging cause. Bakit pwedeng magkaroon ng seasonal pattern of depression yung isang tao? Or it could be because of the stimulus. Like for example, I know na kahit dito sa Pilipinas is wala tayong autumn saka wala tayong winter. Pero I just want you to visualize this, Of course, during the autumn season, parang 'di ba at first kapag nagpapalit ng kulay, yung mga dahon sa puno, parang ang ganda niyang tingnan. Pero eventually, habang the days are passing by, di ba nakakalbo yung mga puno? And when you see na parang kalbo na yung mga puno, parang ang lungkot nung parang vibes niya. Because yung stimulus sa paligid natin, it actually affects yung mood natin. Mas lalo na kapag winter season, ano ba usually yung kulay na nakikita natin? Di ba parang nababalot lang siya ng white? Parang nagiging monotonous na yung paligid natin. And so that also affects yung mood natin. Ganon din sa rainy seasons. Kung saan, kapag tumingin ka sa labas, di ba parang ang gloomy ng panahon, parang ang lungkot ng panahon, and eventually that also affects yung mood natin. Okay? Pero of course, there could be other reasons why other people they have seasonal pattern of depression. Now, one of my parang insights to this, lalo na kapag ikaw ay merong certain mental health condition, tapos lalo na specifically yung depression, di ba kapag Christmas, expected na masaya tayo. So therefore, ikaw, na-diagnose ka with clinical depression, nakita mo ang saya-saya nung paligid pero hindi mo siya maramdaman. Nakikita mo ibang mga tao, nag-i-enjoy sila, tumatawa sila, may gathering sila, pero ikaw hindi mo maramdaman yung saya na yan. So therefore, ibang mga tao na may existing na mental health condition, mas nag-i-intensify yung kanilang negative feelings na nararamdaman kasi nga parang they do not belong in that festivity. They do not belong in that parang joyous time or most joyful time of the year. Kasi iba yung nararamdaman nila internally as compared doon sa outside or external environment nila. Okay? Ayan. So, we have to remember that managing stress symptoms is the key in preventing further illness development. Ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Huwag na natin hintayin na magpatong-patong pa ang ating stress symptoms before we do something about it. Yan, the moment na tayo ay nakaranas na ng stress symptoms, deal with it so that hindi na siya mag-progress to other types of illness. Okay? Ayan. Now, let's proceed doon sa next topic natin, which is very important, which is all about managing stress, social support, and prioritizing mental health. Yan. Siguro, this is what I can suggest to everyone. Actually, applicable siya hindi lang sa festivities, hindi lang for our holiday stress. Very helpful din siya in terms of managing our everyday living para at least ma-improve natin yung general sense of well-being natin. Okay? Pero of course, helpful din siya during the holiday stress na maaari nating maranasan. Now, itong 5 ways to well-being na to, actually dinevelop siya ng ng New Economics Foundation. Yan, kung saan, itong 5 ways to well-being, it encourages behaviors which promote hedonic and eudaimonic perspectives of well-being. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng hedonic at eudaimonic? When we say hedonic, this is the pursuit of happiness or the pursuit of pleasure to experience happiness. And usually, itong happiness na to, kapag hedonic siya, ano lang siya, temporary, short-term siya na happiness. So ano bang example ng hedonic happiness? Like for example, ikaw ay naka-receive ng regalo. Of course, masaya na maka-receive ng regalo. Pero of course, yung saya na yan, hindi yan magla-last forever. Though you appreciate naman yung binigay sa'yo. Pero yung intensity ng saya, magiging different yan as the days goes by. Then when we say naman eudaimonic, this is the pursuit of pleasure for you to achieve long-term happiness. And the pursuit, hindi pala sa pleasure, sorry. This is the pursuit of purpose. Yeah, pursuit of purpose to achieve long-term happiness. So yeah. So of course, when we say purpose, kumbaga, hindi lang siya sa pansarili natin. Pero when you say purpose, that radiates to your community. And that creates within you a lasting happiness. Now, itong 5 ways to well-being, there is an empirical support for a link between this framework and yung term na flourishing. When we say flourishing kasi, ito yung ability natin to progress, yung ability natin to self-actualize, eventually yung ma-maximize natin yung potentials natin. At sinasabi din na yung mga tao daw na nag-e-engage in these types of behaviors are more likely to experience a state of high well-being and characteristics of flourishing. Ayan. So ano-ano nga ba itong 5 ways to well-being na ito? So isa-isahin natin siya. So first is connect. Yan, when we say connect, it really involves connecting with others. Yan, so developing social connections po kasi, it really supports and enriches yung ating everyday life. Kasi nga po, di ba, yung pagkakaroon ng social relationships, talagang nagpo-promote siya ng well-being. And it protects us against mental ill health. Yan, as in literal. May mga researchers nga po na nagsasabi that the more social contacts you have, the longer you will live. Yan. At ultimong sipon, less likely din yung mga tao na mas maraming social contacts as compared sa mga mas konti yung kanilang social contacts. Pero of course, kailangan natin ditong isaalang-alang yung quality din. Hindi lang sa paramihan. Kasi like let's say, kung meron kang 20 kaibigan, kung 18 naman dyan is backstabber, so eventually, hindi siya makakabuti para sa iyong well-being. So parang okay lang din to have few friends. Yung may ability ka pa rin to build friends, pero yung friendship na nabubuo mo with them is of quality pa rin. Now going back to connect. Now how do we foster yung social support na sinasabi natin? Kasi napaka-importante niyan sa atin. Kahit nasabihin pa natin that we are strong, independent person, no man is an island. Kailangan pa rin natin ng ibang mga tao. Now, how do we foster social support? So, unang-una is for us to develop emotional intelligence. Yan, hindi lang po dapat puro IQ, yung pinapagana natin. Dapat meron din tayong EQ, that is very important for us to connect well with people. And then katulad nga po ng sinabi dito, be there, feel connected. Ayan, lalo na this holiday season, alam ko nakakapagod yung preparation, nakakapagod yung mag-i-entertain ka ng mga bisita. Grab that chance to connect with them. Ang problema kasi sa atin at times, nagtitipon-tipon nga tayo, pero physically present tayo, but mentally absent naman tayo kasi lahat tayo nakatutok tayo sa cellphones natin. Yan, so if we wanted to manage yung stress na nararamdaman natin, let's learn how to put down our phones. Be there. Be present. Kausapin mo yung mga tao sa paligid mo. Connect with them. kamustahin mo sila. Then at the same time, no, habang kayo ay nag-uusap along the way is of course you will feel no, na parang masaya siya, na entertain ka. Minsan pa nga is may natututunan ka. Pero yun nga din no, yung twist dito. Hindi naman kasi lahat ng mga tao, di ba? Of course, during the holiday season, yan we usually meet no, our relatives, yan our family members, our friends. Pero yun nga, no, may mga tao na mas nasa-stress pa no, kapag they're about to meet no, yung mga relatives nila. Kasi yung nga parang pakiramdam nila is ma-judge sila, no? Or parang may something negative na masasabi sa kanila or mape-pressure sila no, kapag minit nila yung mga tao na yan. Pero ang importante dito is no matter who the people or kung sino man no, yung mga taong makikilala or mamimit natin during the holiday season, let's just be in the moment. Let's be available for them. And let's not miss no, that opportunity na makapag-relate tayo with other people as people. Let's connect with them no, as human beings. Okay? So that's the first no, of the 5 ways to well-being natin. The next, yan, we have here gift. Yan. So itong gift, probably it involves no, doing something nice for someone. Probably no, to your friend, a stranger, or do something nice to your community. Kaya nga ang daming mga tao, no? At nakakatuwa naman talaga na kapag mga Christmas season, of course, they have so much. And what they do is that they give, no? They give back to their community. Kumbaga nag-outreach program sila, nag-feeding program sila. So kahit na nakakapagod, no, yung mga ganyang activities. Pero of course, you do not necessarily have to give to a lot of people. Even giving something to one of your friends or giving something to yourself. Like kung sa tingin mo is deserve mo ng pahinga, ibigay mo yan sa sarili mo. Mas lalo na no, kapag alam mo sa sarili mo na parang pagod na papagod ka na no, or parang na-exhaust ka na. You can also give no, something to yourself, not just to other people. Pero yun nga, no, giving back to a wider community, it actually creates a sense of connectedness with others. Kaya nga itong 5 ito, konektado sila with one another. Yan. Of course, when we give and we feel connected no, with other people, it promotes well-being natin. And of course, yung pagtulong no, or yung pagbibigay sa ibang mga tao, ano yan, intrinsically rewarding yan. Parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam no, kapag ikaw ay nakakatulong sa ibang mga tao, and that good feeling no, is hindi siya matutumbasan ng kahit ano pang mga material na bagay no, dito sa mundo. Kasi you know no, na somehow nakatulong ka sa ibang mga tao. Okay? And so that's what we can do. First is connect. If may chance tayo no, to talk with someone, be present, be there, then next is to give. No? And giving does not necessarily need to be material lang siya. Yan, katulad ng sabi dito, your time, your words, your presence. Okay? The next one, pangatlo. We have here, take notice. Yeah, take notice. Remember the simple things that give you joy. When we say take notice, this involves being curious and being aware of personal emotions at yung emotions ng ibang mga tao. Kasi when we say take notice, this is a form of mindfulness wherein nagiging aware tayo sa sensations, sa thoughts and feelings natin at ng ibang mga tao. Ayan. At mahalaga yan, no, yung pag-take notice to actually set our boundaries. Lalo na no, during the holiday season, ang dami talaga nating dapat na gawin. Okay? Now, how can it be helpful? Like for example, take notice kung ano man yung nararamdaman mo na sa katawan mo. Like ang dami mong inaasikaso, ang dami mo ng mga pinagkakaabalahan. Usually, no, kapag meron tayong mga body pains na nararamdaman, may naalala nga kung ano dito, concept dito, no? Yan. Kapag daw sumasakit, yung mga katawan, yan, ano daw yan? Organ dialect yan. When we say organ dialect, sometimes, kahit yung katawan natin, hindi yan nakakapagsalita. Pero may ways yan na pwede niyang ma-relay yung message niya sa'yo kung ano yung dapat mong gawin sa katawan mo. Like for example, nakakaramdam ka ng pain sa kamay mo. Ang sinasabi lang yan is kailangan mong ipahinga yan. Sumasakit na yung ulo mo kakaisip, no, kung ano bang dapat i-prepare sa Pasko, kung ano bang dapat ibigay sa iyong mga inaanak. Ano ba yung dapat na design, no, na ilalagay mo sa bahay mo. Ipahinga mo muna yan. Basically, if we're starting to feel, no, some random pains in our body, it is just telling us to take a rest. Yan, pahinga ka muna. Kapag na-energize ka na, then that is the time wherein you start doing things again. Okay? Yan. Part din ng pag-take notice is if you're being too much to yourself or you keep on saying yes. Like for example, yes, pupunta ako dyan. Yes, bibigyan ko yung inaanak ko. Yes to this, yes to that. Lahat na lang is yes, no? Nakaka-stress talaga yan. We also have to take notice to realize na okay lang din na mag-no tayo. Of course, yung pagsisay naman ng no, hindi naman yan absolute na no lang talaga, no? There are various ways wherein we can also say no. Kung sa tingin natin is hindi natin kaya na magbigay ng mga material na bagay like let's say no sa mga inaanak natin, then we can relay it to doon sa mga sa mga magulang ng inaanak natin. We can explain to them a little bit about our situation. I'm sure naman no that people are much more open-minded na no during this time. Or like for example, no, kung hindi mo kaya mag-entertain ng bisita, you can also tell that, no, you can also set those limits. Pero of course, yun nga, no, parang there's this pressure na na-create din no ng holiday season. Na parang nakaka-guilty siya no when we say no, no, doon sa mga typical na ginagawa natin. Pero of course, know that these boundaries are going to be helpful for you no in the long run. So yun nga din, no? Sometimes yung mga bagay na nakasanayan natin during the holiday season, hindi naman siya laging tama. Okay? Lalo na no, kapag sa tingin natin, is tayo din no, yung nagiging at risk, no? Or yung mental health natin is in danger because of it. And we can always respectfully draw our boundaries. And we can start that by actually taking notice sa mga nararamdaman natin. Okay? Yeah. Part of taking notice as well is to recognize that just as we are mindful and intentional sa work na ginagawa natin, I hope na we are also mindful and intentional sa rest na gusto natin para sa ating sarili. Okay? Ayan. The next one is we have here keep learning. Ayan. So when we say keep learning, maybe it involves trying something new or setting a challenge no, that you will enjoy achieving. Yan kasi sinasabi no, ng mga researches na yung continuation of learning throughout life, nai-increase niya yung ating self-esteem. And of course, it also encourages social interaction at mas nagiging active tayo. Okay? Maybe during the holiday season, yan, of course, no, most ng mga tao is wala silang mga pasok. Grab this chance. Like let's say, of course, since holiday season siya, no, yan yung time na madami tayong kinakain. Of course, maraming niluluto din no, ng mga pagkain. If you wanted to learn how to cook something, then try to learn it, no? Like for example, tumabi ka lang sa mama mo, paturo ka lang, paano po bang magluto nito? Then observe mo lang. At least through that, hindi lang ikaw natuto, no? Pero you actually connected, no? And you have given, no, your time to your mother, which is also nakaka-relieve din yan ng stress. Okay? Then, you can also learn how to decorate something. Kasi learning does not have to be grand. At hindi naman siya yung kailangan mo talagang mag-travel, yung kailangan mo talagang mapagod. We can also learn in simple ways. Okay? Ayan. Then, of course, last one. Yan, we have here be active. Yan, being active, huwag nating kalimutan, no? Na alam ko kahit na ang dami nating lakad na ginagawa sa mall, dami nating pinupuntahang mga lugar, huwag pa rin nating kalimutan, no, na, of course, to exercise. Yan, yung mindful exercise talaga, no? So, kasi being active, it involves exercising or engaging in some physical activity in an enjoyable way, no, that is suited to the individual. Ibig sabihin yan, huwag mo pa rin kalimutan, no, yung mga gusto mong ginagawa. Okay? Kung masaya ka, no, like let's say nagba-basketball ka, you can still do that, lalo na no, in your spare time. Usually naman this holiday, marami pa rin namang oras, no? Yung most of the people. So you do that as well. Huwag ka lang, no, puro monotonous or parang same at same lang yung ginagawa mo all the days of your holidays, no? Kasi that can actually lead, no, to you being burned out. Ang mahalaga para ma-overcome natin yung burnout is dapat merong variations yung ating activities. Okay, when we say variations, hindi naman sobrang paiba-iba. Pero from time to time is dapat switch tayo, no, ng activities natin. And one good way, no, for us to not just energize and not just to overcome burnout is yung mag-exercise tayo. Win-win situation din yan, no, for our physical health and also our mental health. Kasi yung mga tao daw, no, na nag-i-engage sa physical activity, may increase nila yung kanilang self-efficacy, yung perceived ability nila to cope, and provides a sense of mastery. Thereby, it promotes a sense of well-being. Yeah. So we can not take note of these 5 ways to well-being para at least in a very practical sense. Yeah. In a very practical sense is maano natin, kumbaga ma-overcome natin, matulungan natin yung ating mga sarili na ma-overcome, no, yung ating mga stressors na maaari nating maranasan, no, during the holidays. Yan. So this can be both a proactive and reactive measures, yan, to combat yung stress na maaari nating maranasan. Yan. So there's connect, give, take notice, keep learning, and of course, be active. Now, what if naman if yung situation mo ngayon, it requires you know some professionals. Yeah, so of course I'll be giving out some information about professional mental health resources. Just in case like let's say is mag-intensify yung stress na nararamdaman mo to the point na baka hopefully not. Yeah, so if ever lang naman na mag-lead sa to distress or kung meron kang existing na mental health condition that will intensify during the holiday season, so pwede mong kontakin itong mga numbers na ito. But first, let's get to know muna when to get help. Yan. Kailan ba natin maaalam na kailangan natin ng tulong na profesional or kailangan natin ng tulong ng ibang mga tao? And so the answer to this is the moment you immediately recognize the symptoms is the right time to get help. Again, the moment you immediately recognize the symptoms is the right time to get help. Yan. Kapag may nanonotice ka na sa katawan mo, may distress ka nang nararamdaman, that is an indication that you should get the help that you need. Yan kasi sa ating mga Filipinos, quite problematic yung help-seeking behavior na hanggat hindi malala, hindi ka pa magpapacheck up. Yan, kung saan kapag malala na yung sitwasyon natin, malala na yung nararamdaman natin, mas grabe na yung stress na maaari nating maranasan. And managing the symptoms and at the same time, financially straining din siya. So kaya nga po importante, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, kapag tayo ay may mga stressors na nararamdaman, huwag nating hayaan na mag-ipon-ipon yan. Kasi kapag yan nag-ipon-ipon, maaaring maging mas malala pa yung ating maramdaman. And all the more is mas stress tayo. Okay? Now, where to get help? Yan, madami pong mga available na hotlines or chat services, yan, which is I'll be flashing in here. Yan, these are just some ng mga hotlines and chat services. So for more information about where to seek help, yan, you can visit itong website na ito, which is at silakbo.ph. Yan, kung saan probably makakahanap kayo dyan ng mga, like let's say, mga psychological clinics or mga institutions that could cater to your immediate needs. Okay, pero yan, ito po yung ilang mga hotlines at chat services na pwede nating matawagan just in case na kailangan talaga natin ng makakausap. Okay? Ayan, so feel free to take a screenshot of this or visit nga yung website na sinabi ko kanina for more information. Now, let us talk about naman yung pagbabalance natin ng obligations with personal time. Ayan. Kasi of course, ang dami nating mga obligations, no, lalo na during the holiday season. And at times, is hindi lang yung obligations, no, ng paghahanda for the holidays ang inaatupag natin. Sometimes nag-crossover din dyan yung mga trabaho pa, no, na kailangan nating matapos. So, let's get to know about this concept. Yan, work-life integration. Yan, actually, I like the term work-life integration better than doon sa work-life balance. Yan, kasi when we say balance, it gives you kasi a perception, no, of absolute balance or equal distribution of everything, which is of course quite impossible siya. Pero don't get me wrong, balancing work and personal life is possible naman yan. Hindi nga lang siya absolute, no, na talagang equal. Yung gawain kasi natin, for each developmental stage natin, there will always be na mas mabigat sa atin. Okay? So ano bang ibig sabihin ko dito? For example, di ba ng mga bata tayo? Of course, wala pa tayong gaanong sense of responsibility. So ang activities natin is mas nakalead siya sa play and socialization. Now, for other individuals naman, habang sila ay tumatanda at sila ay nagkakaroon ng trabaho, yung activities nila is mas leaning siya or mas mabigat siya, no, sa pag-fulfill ng mga task niya sa work. Pero, hindi naman ibig sabihin yan is that hindi na posible, no, na magawa ng isang tao yung mga bagay na importante sa kanya. Of course, possible pa rin, no, na kahit na ikaw ay busy sa trabaho mo, pwede ka pa rin mag-allot ng time, no, for you to be able to enjoy what you want to do. Ganon din, no, sa mga tao, like let's say meron na silang pamilya, meron na silang mga anak. Of course, much of their time will be invested, no, sa pagpapalaki or pag-aalaga ng kanilang mga anak. Pero it does not necessarily mean na wala na silang time, no, to actually do the things that they like to do. Of course, pwede pa rin nilang magawa, no, yung mga bagay na gusto nilang gawin. Of course, that could be done through time management. Yan. Kaya nga mas realistic yung term na work-life integration. Kasi hindi na natin talaga matitake away yung fact na kung ano man yung mga pinagkakabisihan natin sa ating buhay, talagang part na yan, no, ng ating pang-araw-araw, no, na buhay. Pero it means to say na kailangan din natin ma-establish, no, yung clear boundaries kung saan magkakaroon pa rin tayo ng time to do the things that we like to do. Just like what I mentioned a while ago, no? If we are intentional with the work that we are doing, we are mindful with it, I hope that we are also mindful and intentional with the rest, no, that we want to have. Yan. Kaya nga mamaya may mga isasuggest pa ako dyan. When we say work-life integration, this is a process of reconciliation of work, family, and individual self-demands and time. Now, promoting balance in your obligations and personal time both need systemic and personal adjustments. Yan, ito din yung sinasabi ko kanina, no, na at times hindi lang yung holidays, yung preparations, no, yung iniisip natin. May mga tao din na inaalala pa rin, no, yung kanilang trabaho kahit sila ay nagbabakasyon na. Now, para magkaroon tayo ng sense of balance, no, sa ating work at sa ating personal life, hindi lang dapat yan puro sa parte ng company. Hindi lang din yan dapat puro sa parte ng mga empleyado, no? Dapat meron yang collaboration, no, compromise, no, with one another. Okay? Kasi 'di ba sinabi natin kanina that mental health is a basic human right. So it is about time that as the generation of workers change, the system has to change as well, which should include yung pagkakaroon ng mental health programs, no, for all people in the workplace. And this change, actually, no, it should start from the top. Okay? Sa mga leaders natin. Kaya nga importante talaga, no, yung mga leaders natin is meron silang awareness, no, about mental health. Kasi no matter how much people or employees yearn for a psychologically healthy environment, if walang nakikinig sa taas, then all of it will just be an idea. Okay? So again, no, achieving work-life integration, a sense of balance, it is a cooperation, a collaboration, a compromise, no, both the systemic coming from the company and of course yung personal adjustments even ng mga employees. Okay? Yeah, so let's flash the first point. Yeah, so what we need to do is first to fix and change what is needed in the current system and create something new. Yeah, so what do I mean by this? Maybe the company should start by respecting healthy boundaries in one's job responsibilities to give what is due to what they have signed for. Sometimes kasi no, yung overlapping of work responsibilities, yan din yung isa sa mga nakakapag-contribute pa ng holiday stress, no, lalo na ng mga empleyado. Yung hindi lang nila iniisip kung paano nila i-execute na mabuti yung holiday nila, pero at the same time, para hindi pa rin sila nakakapagbakasyon, no? Kasi sobrang dami pa rin nilang dapat gawin. Okay, then of course, pangalawa is to set professional boundaries. What do I mean by this? And I think this is a very important pointer, no, na kailangan natin maisaisip at magawa natin, no, ng mabuti. For an instance, when sending work emails or concerns, if we know na nakauwi na, on leave, or weekend, no, or holiday vacation, kung magsisend sana tayo, no, ng mga messages na related something sa work natin, kahit paano naman, is yung mag-apologize naman tayo and give them ample time to respond. Hindi yung parang tipo na nangaragin natin, no, yung isang tao na mag-comply kagad. Kasi we have to remember na during our break time, we do not owe anyone of our time other than to spend it, no, to ourselves. Lalo na if nagagawa naman natin yung trabaho natin within our working hours. So, yun lang, no? Parang siguro if we are going to send some work-related messages, no, lalo na during the holidays, kasi minsan nakaka-stress yan, no, yung marinig mo yung work application mo na tumutunog, parang minsan for other people, biglang tumataas yung anxiety level nila. So if we are going to send those messages, let's have some decency, no, to somehow apologize and to give them ample time to comply, no, what we want them to do kung talagang may urgency yan. Then, of course, next one is, or last one, is yung self-regulation. Itong self-regulation, ito naman sa part, no, ng personal adjustments for the employees. Yan, many times kasi kapag may task tayo hindi natapos within working hours natin, madalas nagigilty tayo. At kapag nag-guilty tayo, so how do we compensate for it? Most of the time, we sacrifice yung mga araw at oras na dapat nagpapahinga tayo. Okay? Kaya may ibang mga tao kahit na parang holiday vacation na nila, hindi pa nila ma-enjoy, no? Yun nga, no, nakaka-contribute pa sa lalo to our holiday stress. In addition to the pressures of the holiday, ang dami pa nating iniisip, no, na trabaho na kailangan pa nating matapos. So yan, no, kung may mga moments naman that we can actually set it aside muna. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na wag natin gawin. Pero yun nga, no, kailangan din nating matutunan yung magko-compartmentalize din tayo sa isip natin. Para at least mas nagiging mindful tayo, no, with our activities. Na kapag ganito, no, like let's say for this day, ito muna yung gagawin ko. So therefore, I'll try not to be mindful and to be in the moment, no, while doing this activity. Then by tomorrow, I'll be doing some of the works, pending works that probably that I should be accomplishing so that, no, parang natutulungan natin yung sarili natin na talagang maging in the moment pa rin tayo. Kasi ang problema nowadays sa maraming mga tao, kaka-worry natin, hindi na natin nararamdaman, no, yung sarili natin at the present. So it's really important, no, for us to practice mindfulness. And for us to find ways on how we can relax, for us to find ways on how we can be grounded. And of course, with those simple advices, no, that I have given a while ago, the 5 ways to well-being, that can somehow, no, help to relieve yung probable na holiday stress na maaari nating maranasan. And so, before I end this talk, let me leave you, no, with these words. Let us remember that the greatest gift you can give to yourself is the gift of holistic health, where you can continuously actualize yourself while contributing to your community's prosperity. The holiday is most joyful when it is faced with readiness and resilience, both physical and mental, to combat stressors. And with this, I hope na may natutunan po kayo sa araw na ito, and I hope na mai-apply po natin siya, no, sa ating upcoming na holidays. At muli, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you so much, Rainier, for that insightful discussion. The holiday season can be challenging, but with practical strategies and a mindful approach, we can prioritize our mental well-being and truly enjoy this time of the year. To everyone watching, we encourage you to stay connected with Generali Philippines by following us on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can also visit our website at www.generali.com.ph for more content on health and other resources. Let's keep the conversation going and make mental well-being a priority every day. Once again, this is Paulo Enriquez, and thank you for joining us, and we wish you all a peaceful, joyful holiday season. Take care and see you next time.